Welcome back to the Nerd Cave and another video. This should be a relatively short one for real this time. This is the monthly news from the Linux Mint team. Now, it is still odd that we're posting an October blog in November, but I kind of understand this runs a month behind. Nothing high-tech today. I'm just going to run through what's going on and discuss it to a little degree anyway. So they've got the new menu, and I do like the new menu. I do think it looks very nice. I'm on XFCE right now, so this is not a fair comparison. But this is a much nicer Cinnamon menu than we've had in the past, which is awesome. And the biggest thing they added in this blog they talk about is, as you can see, you can customize the menu. That was something that I was worried they weren't going to allow. They're going to allow it, which is cool. And you could even put like the buttons down in the sidebar. You can put them all over the place. This is really nice. And I'm not sure exactly what I'll do for my own. To be honest, I kind of like the middle option they have here. But none of these are bad options. I think I'll probably end up just doing that. Although if I'm going to power off, this makes the most sense because my cursor is already down here clicking it. And then it would just go to here instead of over here. So maybe it'll be like this. We'll see. The default seems to be this, and that's perfectly fine. One of the cool things they're talking about here, and if you want to read it, I'll try to make sure to link this particular blog in the description, is diagnosis. So they are completely revamping this system information app. This is an app I've traditionally disabled just because it hasn't been particularly useful. Or if it is, it'll do stuff like you should install media codecs and so on and so forth with system reports. Well, now they're going to have this system information app, which to me is kind of like a system administration tool. They have a separate tool for that. We'll get there. And it looks kind of like this. And I think this is cool. I genuinely think that being able to just go into a GUI interface and see devices instead of having to do the terminal, this is great. A big one for me is this GPU one because, you know, people like to talk smack sometimes. Being able just to go to this system information and say, yep, I've got OpenGL, I've got Vulkan, I've got proper video playback via this codec. I'm running on this driver. I don't have to go learn all the commands or go see all the commands to figure all that out. You just have the information. So if you just need it real quick, you got it. And it goes into PCI and BIOS. I would hope eventually that they would allow firmware updates through this app. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or if they're going to do that in a separate app, but that would be nice. Yeah, they talk about system administration. Right now, the tool is just looking to edit the boot menu, and I think that's great. I typically have to get a terminal out to edit grub when I need to edit grub. But hey, now you'll be able to have a tool that's GUI that you can just do it, and that's great. Especially for dual boots, that could be very nice. One of the unfortunate realities of the Linux Mint Debian edition is this right here. End of life January 1st. Now, the underlying base Debian 12 will continue to operate, will continue to get patches, but Mint themselves will not be doing any work on the minty bits of the distro. They'll probably continue to work. They probably won't break or anything, but they're probably not going to spend any time on it either. And it's also the end of the line for 32-bit Mint support, just in general. There won't be a 32-bit version of the distro. You can still run your 32-bit apps on the 64-bit version of Mint, but Upstream doesn't do it anymore, so they can't do it either. And they have a full upgrade instruction. I've actually already done an upgrade on the channel. It's pretty straightforward, but if you missed it, there you go. One thing I did notice in the LMDE7, so I'm actually happy to hear they're going to work on it, is Adwaita icons have been... GNOME has been stripping them of things they used to do and are not supporting things outside of GNOME. It's totally a GNOME thing to do that. And this is just a continuation of they are removing symbolic icons. And I don't notice it as much here because, again, I'm in XFCE on the regular Mint. But on my Debian edition, if I remember to get a screenshot, I will. If you right-click on the taskbar, certain symbolic icons are just missing. And that was something that wasn't a deal breaker, but it is a continuity breaker. And so they're actually going to replace those symbolic icons with the X apps symbolic icons that will fulfill the same purpose, just are tailored for X apps. And I think that's a great thing because we want our shit to actually look good and we want it to actually look coherent in the desktop environment. We don't want it to look like 7 different app ecosystems. You know, this is why I liked libadapta and why I open a GNOME app now on a Mint system. And while the GNOME apps still look like GNOME apps, they fit a lot better in the system, so it doesn't look so alien, you know, compared to things. It's Qt apps as well. It could look alien sometimes. We want apps to look like they belong on the system, not look like an alien. And yeah, all the Mint projects are going to go to this new symbolic icon set, which is fantastic. I really appreciate seeing it. And that's pretty much all that this blog talks about. The big key points being, if you're on LMDE6, you need to get your butt over to LMDE7 via upgrade or clean install. And you're going to see some new symbolic icons. We've got a few new apps in the pipeline. And the menu, which is probably the #1 thing that I'm excited about. So I know this wasn't much, but if you liked the video, go ahead and like the video. And I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.